The entire universe of chess consists of a chessboard with 64 black and white squares. When you sit down to play, make sure to position the chessboard so that each player has a dark square in their lower left corner. The columns that go up and down are labeled with letters from A to H, and the horizontal rows are numbered from 1 to 8. This helps to remember your moves. Thus, if needed, you can go back to see if you made any major mistakes. There are a total of 32 pieces, 16 on each side. If you play with the white pieces, you start first. The objective of the game is to trap the opponent's king in a position from which it cannot escape. This is what is called checkmate. Yes, it seems quite simple, but you first have to reach him. This is something that these loyal subjects will not let you do easily. They will strive to protect their king and attack yours, while trying to capture as many of your pieces as possible. Capture means that the other person's chess piece lands on one of yours. If that happens, your piece is out of the game. Finished. Bye-bye. Hello. So, sit across from a friend and wake up your neurons. It's time to get to know the team. So let's start with the pawns. There are 8 pawns in front, so you're probably going to lose a few at the beginning of the game. Not all at once, of course, but someone has to start to challenge the other player to make bold moves. But don't sacrifice them without careful thought. They can be very useful for blocking paths and can even protect your king towards the end of the game. Oh, and don't worry too much when you start losing pieces. You'll capture many as well. That's how chess works. Pawns are the only pieces that cannot move backward. They can only move forward 1 square or 2 squares if it's their first move in the game. However, don't let them confuse you. These clever little guys can perfectly manage to capture the toughest pieces if you play them well. When a pawn captures an opponent's piece, it does so by skillfully moving diagonally, instead of just moving forward. Moreover, if your pawn reaches the other side, you can then replace it with any piece. But getting there is not so easy. 2 rooks stand in each corner. They are rather calm and can move a bit more than pawns. They can go forward, backward, and sideways, but only if nothing blocks their path. Rooks cannot jump, but if your opponent leaves a piece blocking their way. Bam! Back in the day, these pieces looked more like chariots. You see why. Right next to the rooks, there are horses, or as they like to be called, knights. They move in an L shape in whichever direction they want. 2 steps in one direction and 1 step in the other. They are the only ones who can jump over other pieces, yours or your opponent's. They cannot land on a square if you already have a piece on it. But if your opponent leaves one of theirs unguarded, bam again. After the brave and spirited knights come the bishops. They stand on each side of the queen and the king, ready to do whatever it takes to protect them. The bishops move diagonally in any open direction. One moves only on the black squares, the other only on the white. And now the piece you've been waiting for, Her Majesty, the Queen. The white queen starts on a white square, and the black queen on a dark square. It's the most powerful piece on the board, with the combined powers of a rook and a bishop. But as always, having great power means everyone wants to capture you. She is at the top of your opponent's most wanted list. If he manages to capture your queen, it will be much easier to target the powerful king. And then, the end is near. Kings can move 1 square at a time, like a pawn, but they can move in any direction, even diagonally. They also capture pieces, but it's much more complicated. Do you remember that checkmate thing we talked about at the beginning? When one of your opponent's pieces is in a position where it could capture the king, it's called check. And then you only have 2 options left. Use one of your pieces to capture the piece threatening your king. Move it to get it out of danger, or move one of its pieces in front of the king to protect it. Once His Majesty is in check and you can't do any of these options, the game is over. That's checkmate. You can topple your king if you want to be more theatrical. One way to avoid problems at the beginning of the game is to make a move called castling. If you have a clear space between your rook and your king, You can have them switch places, in a way. You move your king 2 squares towards the rook, and the rook moves just in front of it. This is the only time when it's possible to move 2 pieces at once. Castling can be done to the left or to the right. You can only do it if you haven't moved these pieces yet, and as long as you haven't been in check with one of your opponent's pieces. Stalemate is a situation that rarely occurs, but it's good to know about it. It simply means that you can't make any moves with your pieces. Your king can't move anywhere, but it is safe where it is. It is not in check. If this happens, no one wins, and it's just like calling it a draw. Take a few seconds to try to understand what that would look like. Another situation where no one wins is if the game ends in a draw. This usually happens when you and your opponent only have your kings left and you endlessly chase each other around the board. It might be time to start a new game, but hey, if you get to that point, you're probably not a beginner anymore. And now, to answer the question everyone has been waiting for. What is this Queen's Gambit thing everyone is talking about? It's just one of the oldest opening moves in the history of chess. It consists of 3 simple moves. So, the white pawn moves to d4, the black pawn goes to d5, and another white pawn moves to c4. Your queen is now more vulnerable, and you will likely lose the c4 pawn. But there is a big advantage. You then take control of the center of the board. If you're more of an active player who likes to take the initiative, go for it. Now, take some time to practice with a few variations of the Queen's Gambit, and see what moves you might make if you were playing as white or black. The advantage of playing alone is that you will always win. Great, but you will also lose every time. A good chess game has 3 main stages. The opening. Each player sends their scouts onto the board, trying to build a strategy and see what type of player they are up against. The second phase begins when players start to chase each other and capture increasingly powerful pieces. Phase 3 is the final phase, the critical moment. There are far fewer pieces on the board, generally less than half, and the king starts to move a lot more. The goal is not only to checkmate the king, but also to capture as many of the opponent's pieces as possible, so that your path to the king is as clear as possible. The more mobile your pieces are, the more powerful they are. But be careful, good players like to set traps that you might fall into. They might leave a piece all alone somewhere. And when you capture it with your queen, they simply laugh and capture yours. That's why chess is so popular and so challenging. You have to plan your path to victory, but also try to anticipate the other player's strategy. What a workout for the brain! So, ready to invite a friend for a game and show them what you've learned? Cool!